Hello, Patriots. Welcome to Doug's Democracy Den. Here in the Den, we like to discuss American government, politics, and current events. Also in the Den, we like to honor our country and our flag by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Feel free to join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today in the Den, we're beginning a new series, something called Understanding Social Security. Social Security has become an intricate part of the fabric of this country. It's become meaningful and important to most people in this country. But yet there seem to be misunderstanding about certain aspects of the program, or even lack of understanding about certain aspects of the program. And every U.S. citizen should understand Social Security because it will affect them in some way at some point in their lives. So as we go along, we'll be looking at the history, looking at the structure, looking at some of the important problems the system faces, and looking at how you can best deal with it yourself from your own personal situation. Along the way, we'll also be encountering a few terms which you may or may not have heard, but which are relevant to the program. A term such as payroll deduction. You've probably heard that thrown around a lot throughout your life, but do you really understand what it means and how it affects Social Security and how it affects you? How about something called the annual salary cap? There is an annual salary cap proponent of Social Security. Does it affect you? Does it affect someone you know? We'll look at that. We'll look at how it's implemented and what it means to the system. How about the percentage? There's a percentage that they take out of your paycheck every time when you're a working adult and give to Social Security. Do you know what the percentage is? Have you paid any attention? It's been happening your whole working life. Now, I also want to discuss one other thing. There's a concept just in general called entitlement. An entitlement is debated related to Social Security for reasons which I'm not entirely clear on, but I want to discuss this for a moment. What is an entitlement? An entitlement is something to which you are owed because you've done something to earn it. You've paid in or you've contributed in some way to earn something. Well, I see frequently debate on Facebook that says Social Security is not an entitlement or Social Security is an entitlement. Well, which is it? Well, let's think of how entitlement happens. Let's say you go to the grocery store and you fill your cart with items and you go to the checkout and the cashier rings up your items and she gives you a total and you pay her that total. Guess what? All those items in that cart are now yours. You're entitled to them because you paid for them. What if she gave you the total, but then you didn't give her any money and you just pushed the cart out the door? Well, all those sirens would go off because you're not entitled to those because you didn't pay for them. An entitlement is something you earned by paying for it. Social Security is an entitlement. Throughout your working life, you are paying for it, and you've earned it, and you're entitled to it when you retire. That is an entitlement. Let's compare it to something that people confuse it with called welfare. No one is entitled to welfare. Welfare is something that the government gives to those who, for some reason, can't help themselves out of the goodness of our hearts and our pockets. Welfare is given. That's not an entitlement. We give it to them out of our goodwill because we want to help them. Social Security you earned. You paid for it your whole life. You earned it. You're entitled to it. Social Security is an entitlement. Join us next time on The Den for more discussion about Social Security.